participated in this self-funded online program. Residential workshop on industrial experimentation for engineers and scientists was conducted with ISEC funding in an in-person mode during October 10 to 21, 2022 to introduce the participants, namely scientists and engineers working in research laboratories and establishments as well as academia, to statistical methodologies that are useful for planning and conduct of experiments and their analysis with the ultimate objective of being able to draw scientifically valid conclusions. There were 12 participants in all from Jordan, South Sudan, Tajikistan, Azerbaijan, Iraq, Nigeria, and Sudan. The 74th term of the residential 10-month diploma course on statistical theory and applications commenced from November 1, 2022, after a 2-year hiatus imposed by the COVID-19 pandemic. Of the 15 participants who are present here, most of whom are present here, 10 are from Myanmar, 2 from Mongolia, and 1 is from Liberia, Russia, and Tajikistan. The lone participant from Russia had to discontinue for personal reasons without completing the course. The remaining 14 participants have performed creditably in the course and will be receiving their diplomas today. For the current financial year, that is 2023-24, ISEC has received approval from ITEC for 4 courses, namely the 44-week regular diploma course on statistical theory and applications, which is going to start from Friday this week, a 2-week course on sampling methodologies for conducting household surveys, which is expected to be held in October 2023, a 3-week course on data analytics for decision making, which is expected to be conducted in February 2024, and a 3-week online Six Sigma Green Belt program. I would like to conclude this report by highlighting some other developments of note. The ISEC guest house, which used to be formerly referred to as the ISEC hostel, has undergone extensive repairs and renovation over the past 2 years and is ready to receive participants in the 75th term of the diploma course. Secondly, regulations for the administration of ISEC were drafted and approved by the BOD of ISEC, as well as the ISI Council over the last 2 years, and have recently been forwarded to the Administrative Ministry of ISI, that is MOSPI, for its views. ISEC has started implementing the regulations with the understanding that it will give due considerations to views from MOSPI and will amend the regulations if needed. Thirdly, on the recommendations of the BOD, the ISI Council has approved the reappointment of Professor S.P. Mukherjee as the chairman of the BOD of ISEC till January 2028. And finally, I would like to report that in September 2022, I participated in the 11th International Conference on Teaching Statistics, or ICOTS 11, at Rosario, Argentina, and presented a paper on ISEC and its unique training activities. In the capacity, I did so in the capacity of the member secretary of the BOD of ISEC. The paper was extremely well received by the audience, which was generally quite appreciative of the specialized training in statistics that ISEC has been providing to government officers and other working professionals from developing countries over the past several decades. In conclusion, I would like to congratulate the graduating trainees and wish them great success in their professional endeavors. I'm extremely grateful to Professor Shangamitra Bandopadhyay, the director of ISI, for her constant encouragement and support for ISEC-related activities. I would like to place on record my deepest appreciation of the support provided to ISEC by each and every person from within ISI as well as from outside. Special mention must be made in this context of the ISI staff appointed in ISEC. Without their tireless dedication and enthusiastic support, ISEC would not have been able to function smoothly and fulfill its mandate. Last but not the least, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our chief guest, Dr. Vibhash Chaudhary, for taking time off from his hectic schedule to be here today with words of inspiration for our graduating students or trainees. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Kumar. Now we come to the main item of the function today, that awards of degrees and diplomas. Professor Bandapadhyay, our director, will award them. So we begin with Mr. Hitachi Gallen of Liberia. Ms. T. Guji of Mongolia. Ms. T. Batumur of Mongolia. Ms. P. Mama of Myanmar. Ms. A. Sundar of Myanmar. Ms. Mei Zin of Myanmar. Ms. Mei Bin Bo of Myanmar. Ms. H.P. Koo of Myanmar. Ms. T.P. Ong of Myanmar.
Is there a name for this dress?
Ms. A. Thiri of Myanmar. Ms. L. Mon of Myanmar. Ms. E. Ji Zin Ong of Myanmar. Mr. Doniel Satorov of Tajikistan. So that's the end. Ms. Li Zing and Zhang could not attend the convocation because of personal reasons. Her father passed away and she has left. We're sorry about that. So I thank the director for awarding the diplomas, and I request her to make some presidential remarks.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be with all of you today on the day you are graduating from here with your diplomas. And it's a double pleasure to see so many women candidates. We were always very happy about it. But again, once again, when I see all of you sitting here, I hope you had a nice time in Indian Statistical Institute, and the training that you got here, the 10-month-long training, will serve you very nicely when you go back to your countries, to your respective organizations.
And I hope, especially the women and all of them, all of you, but you will make best use, all of you will make best use of the training here and will make ISEC proud. You are our alumnus now, and please be in touch. Anytime you need any help, I'm sure we will try to help you to the best of our abilities. And at any point of time you're coming to India, do visit us. Also, if you can spread the word around, you are the brand ambassadors now of ISEC. Please do spread the word around that this is very useful training which happens here, because as you might already have realized, ISI does offer the best teaching training programs in statistics that this country can offer. So thank you very much, and I would also like to thank Professor Amita Pal and Dr. Zafar Anis for taking these activities forward, Arindam also, and all others who serve in ISEC, because it's through all their efforts that this program has been successful. It is in the 74th batch now, 1950 to now. That's a long journey. And also my gratefulness to the chief guest of this event, Bibhash Chaudhary, the Director General of NSS, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Thank you very much that you took time off and are attending this event. Once again, heartiest congratulations to all of you. I do hope you do very well in your lives. Thank you very much.
Now it is my pleasant duty to introduce the distinguished guest and speaker for today's convocation speaker. Dr. Bibhash Chaudhary is an alumnus of the Aspirant Presidency College. He is a senior officer at the Indian Statistical Service of the 1987 batch. He has more than 3 decades of experience in the administrative and technical wings of various important offices of the Government of India. He has served as an adjunct professor of statistics in the Department of Architecture and Planning at IIT Kharagpur and as a guest faculty at the ISI also. He has been the editorial secretary of the Journal of Indian Statistics, which is published with the Government of India. He has also served as a director, professor, and head of Department of Statistics at the All India Institute of Health and Public Hygiene and Public Health in Calcutta. He has represented India in the United Nations Statistical Commission and the United Nations Statistical Division meetings. He represented India at the recently concluded 64th World Statistics Conference in Ottawa in Canada. He has also worked as the UN country expert under UNIDO, Guinea. Presently, Dr. Chaudhary is the Director General in the National Sample Survey. Sir, we look forward to your address now.
Good afternoon. Our respected Director of Indian Statistical Institute, Professor Shangamitra Bangopathyay, Professor Amita Pal, Mohammad Jafar Anis, and Professor Arindam Kaur, all the faculty or researchers and dear trainees. First of all, congratulate to all the participants from Liberia, Mongolia, Myanmar, and Tajikistan for successfully completion of your training, which is very important in your course of official life. And you know that Indian Statistical Institute is an institute of national importance in our country. And the ISEC is working under Indian Statistical Institute, and you're getting the best training available in our country. So congratulations for successful completion. Now, I would like to share some of my experience with all of you, being in the National Statistical Office of Government of India for quite some time. I understand that all of the trainees who are successfully completing their course today are working in statistical system in their country, either in the National Statistical Office or any other statistical offices in the country. In today's world, data-driven policy is very important, that you are aware. Now, how can you support the data-driven policy being a statistician? In this era, you have to understand that 21st century national data infrastructure that blends data from multiple sources to improve quality, timeliness, granularity, and usefulness of national statistics. This is very important, which facilitates more rigorous social and economic research and supports evidence-based policy making and program evaluation. The role of statistician is now very crucial because the demand for data is ever increasing. Now the policies are not based on just by thumb rule or just by the conception of some senior policy makers. They need data, they need evidence to draw a policy and to see that whether the policy has received the particular goal. And therefore, you have to redo whatever we are doing based on your current demand. The current demand is always important to assess that what your country needs at this point of time. It is not that what is your comfort zone, what you are doing with legacy, what you have been practicing over years. It may so happen that the demand has changed, society has changed, and in post-pandemic, the human behavior, social behavior, consumption behavior, and the economic dynamics have changed to a great extent. But whether a statistician, official statistician, are ready to cope it up, that has to be understood. In most of the countries which teach statistics, mathematical statistics, applied statistics, but I don't find, whatever small exposure I have in the international area, we don't teach official statistics as a subject, either in graduation or in post-graduation. And therefore, what happens is that the subject official statistics becomes a chapter only in your course curriculum, in your subject. So then when you join the official statistical system, you find new definitions, new concepts, new way of sampling, which you have not learned in your so-called books of sampling theory. Why this happens? There are two schools of thought. One school of thought feels that if you do mathematical statistics, if you are working in the abstract world, then it is something elite. But if you do applied statistics with official statistics and so-called data, then you are not that quote-unquote elite bracket. And therefore, if you will see that historically, if you see the legacy, the budgetary support to the statistical department of the government in all the countries used to be at the lower end than the other departments. But now the things have changed. Now things have changed to a great extent after the introduction of IT in the field of official statistics. Now, are we geared up to adopt IT properly to deliver to the current need, deliver to the current demand? Whether our statisticians, official statisticians, are IT savvy or they're purchasing the skill from the market. Now, when you are purchasing the skill from the market, then there is a huge knowledge gap between the market person and you, what you have gained over time with the knowledge. If you do a consumption survey or any household survey, the definition household is very tricky, knowledge-based, loaded. And if you want to make it understand to a computer guy, what is the definition between family and what is the definition of a household, he may take some time to understand what is a household. Now, you know that the smallest economic unit in the country to measuring is still household if you read the great economist Samuelson. And there are many other concept and definition which is very common in the world of official statistics, is not learned in students' days in any one of the courses of any country. Recently, we had a talk with Professor Partho Lahiri. He is a very renowned survey practitioner, a renowned statistician. They are now teaching surveys to all the countries only because there is a huge knowledge gap in the country in understanding the actual practical sample survey. What you learn in your books of program is not really implementable when you do some kind of sampling in a country like India or in a complex, wherever there is a complex economic structure. In the just one anecdote, in one seminar talk in 64 World Statistics Congress, one very renowned statistical body of the world, CanStat, Canada Statistics. There are three very good names: Australian Bureau of Statistics, Canada Statistics, Netherlands Statistics. They have been doing consumption survey and proudly exhibiting that 5,000 households they are surveying. When I shared my experience that we do 8 to 9 surveys in a year with minimum 400,000 households per year, they could not guess. There was a wow in the entire hall, but they could not visualize that how we could do this. So that is the strength of Indian official statistical system. That is the strength of our training. That is the strength of our scientists to make something happen which cannot be understood or believed very easily by the developed statistical system, where everything is recorded, registered, and informality of the economy, unorganized sector of the economy is very small. Some people are happy with some small kind of type studies, methodological studies, but large-scale sample survey, whether it is still required or not, that is now facing a challenge. My association with ISEC is decade old. I used to teach here around 10, 12 years back. And for several years, I used to teach when Professor Monoranjan Pal was in charge. From that day, I know the interaction. When I interact, I used to interact with the statistician coming from various countries. We used to share our experience with them. But now, post-pandemic and the intervention of IT has changed the role of the statistician. The future is with the data scientist, believe it or not, accept it or not. The future of statistics is in the hand of data scientists. And there is a discussion all over the world how to cope with the data scientists with the so-called fundamental principles of official statistics published by United Nations. I have requested them to their assistant secretary to please change it now, because if you are doing model, if you are using the private data, and if you are ready to purchase the private data, the ownership of such data is mostly with the private. There's a negotiation going on at academic level to how to get access of the data, considering the privacy and other criteria. So, what should be the new data culture? Unless my experience and my so much of years in the system now tells me that unless we become IT savvy and we don't get ourselves good handshaking with the data scientists, then the job of statistician will be limited. In future, you will have opening for this kind of official statisticians who have good knowledge in data handling. Structured numeric data or unstructured text data. Any kind of big data. any kind of big data, you have to apply the kind of technique, either by modeling, AI. These are the future. And for how to make a good handshake, that your concept, your definition, so-called unbiased estimate, and fundamental principle of official statistics, and your national policy on official statistics. These three have to be amalgamated. These two are to be merged to involve citizens in the design and production of statistics. What statistics your country needs should be demand driven, should be citizen driven, and should serve the purpose of the government. Yes, researchers will use it, but if government is funding you for doing the evidence to help them for evidence-based policy making, then primarily your need should cater to the government. And researchers must work on the data, on the granular data, whatever form you publish as your country permits, should help you in quality the new era, in understanding the new demand, and to help you grow. And therefore, in today's world of internet, today's world of social media, the interaction with journalists and making them aware about your data, your concept, instead of creating some lucrative narrative which goes very well, which sells the news too. This is also the job of official statistician: interaction with the citizen, interaction with the data journalist, and interaction with the data scientist. There is no room now for being impartiality and professionalism. All this can be honored by opening the door. So that is all I want to share, and I hope that this course will definitely take you to a good lead in your own country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Chaudhary. Now I request Dr. Arindam Kaur to deliver the vote of thanks.
It's my proud privilege to propose the vote of thanks. Today, my words are not enough to express the gratitude. On behalf of ISEC, I'd like to thank our Chief Guest, Dr. Bivas Chaudhary, who graced us with his thought-provoking address. Though our chairman, Professor S.P. Mukherjee, could not attend today's program, I would like to thank him for his leadership and valuable suggestions throughout the year. I would like to thank the Director ISI for awarding the diplomas and for the constant support to the ISEC program. I also like to thank all the dignitaries on the dais who have witnessed today's program as a memorable and successful event. Special thanks are due to the Ministry of External Affairs who have supported most of our trainees through scholarship of the ITEC program. The officials of the National Statistical System Training Academy, Central Statistics Office, and National Sample Survey Office had made active contribution to running our program as in every year, and they deserve our thanks. I thank all the officials of the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation under whose banner the ISEC program is run. I would like to thank the following officers of ISI: Estate Office, Engineering Office, Electric Maintenance Unit, Audiovisual Unit, Radio and Photographic Unit, Office of the Chief Executive, Director's Office, Guest House, Accounts Office, ISEC Office and Hostel, Transport Unit, Medical Welfare Unit, Public Relation Unit, Security Office, Computer and Statistical Service Center, ISIWO, ISI Club, Dean's Office, supporting staff of the Express Housekeeping Private Limited. My sincere thanks are due to all our ISI staff, faculty who always stand by us, guide us, lead us, and help us in every aspect. Last but not the least, I thank all the trainees for showing their interest in the ISEC program. Thank you.
Let's now stand up for the national anthem. Thank you. This concludes the program. Thank all of you. There are some refreshments in lab 2. Please join us.
ওরা পিছিয়ে দাঁড়া আপনারা বসুন না না এখানে আপনারা বসে ওরা পিছিয়ে hello